Hello guys, welcome to Vagrant Practicals YouTube channel. In this channel we explain in details Vagrant, Vagrant networking, virtual networking. Then we talk about containers as well. So these three things, that's what we talk about on the channel. And if you benefit in any way from any of our videos, please subscribe because we continue to upload important videos on this three topics. So in this video we'll be talking about multi-VM Vagrant and how can you set it up and what it is. Alright, first, Vagrant by default, when you run it, maybe you initialize Vagrant, you are going to get just one virtual machine setup. But in the real sense, one of the main reasons why you need Vagrant is to be able to set up VMs quickly, and if you want to set up multi VMs, in fact quickly, because in the real world, in the world of virtual machine, you can just quickly set up a virtual machine, maybe probably on your virtual box, or maybe in the real world, maybe you're using Hypervisor or other type 1 hypervisors. But with VM, you have the chance of creating multiple virtual machines just at an instant. In fact, using infrastructure as code, you don't need to just click around. You can just have a file, just a similar Vagrant file. You can use it to set up hundreds. Maybe you don't need hundreds. However, you can use it to set up multiple VMs at a go. Then how can you do that? That's what we're talking about in this video, and to some extent I will assume that you already have the idea of Vagrant and how to use it to set up a single virtual machine. So now we are going to proceed faster. Alright, to set up multi-VM using Vagrant, so simple. First, let me show you some details about the documentation. What does the documentation say about this? So let's just so if we go into Vagrant documentation, we are going to see a lot of explanations, but here we just want multi-VM. And then as time goes on, we're talking about in fact most of this, if not all. Alright, what this basically says is that if you want to set up a multi-VM, you are going to create your own Vagrant file. That's what it says. But in a layman, if you are creating just one virtual machine, all of these the Vagrant file will be created for you. Just Vagrant in it, and it's going to initialize the Vagrant file for you. However, when you want to create a multi-VM, you are going to create your own Vagrant file. So let's quickly do that. I will be using Sublime Text to do that. And then maybe before we proceed, before I start using this, let me create a file in my system. Just let me make a file here. Multi-VM tutorial. So alright, so I'm going to just cd into the directory. Alright, this way I'm going to put the file, then I'm going to run the multi-VMs in this from this directory. Alright, let's go ahead and open the folder on Sublime Text. So this is the folder I created. So select the folder. Now in this folder I'm going to just create a file, new file. and this file we are going to, let's say, okay. No, I'm not trying to rename this. I just want to, what I want is there a way for me to rename? Okay. New file, let's say that. I think there should be a way for me to like just rename the file at a go, like while creating it, but because there's something important here. Let's try to save, and okay, maybe while we are saving we can okay, that's the point. So the point is, when you create a new file, you have to save it with the name Vagrantfile. It's very important, and that's the point I was trying to make. So if I do Ctrl S, save it capital V and name it Vagrantfile. Now it should be all files. Yes, it should be all files. It shouldn't have any extension, no txt, nothing like that. Just save it like that. Yeah, that's what we want, and this is very important. So when you are done, then what you have to do is you can copy this. This is the basic skeleton of a Vagrantfile. What this is that this is the global configuration here, signify the global configuration, and within the global configuration you have two VMs. The first VM is web with this box name, and the second VM is DB with this box name. And within this VM you can have other instructions. Maybe you can have the RAM size, you can have every other thing. In fact, you can have provisioning. So I'll just copy this and put it into my Vagrantfile, paste, and I'm going to save. Now something that's very important, everything that you see in the global config section we run on all the VMs. You run on all the VMs. So something else that is important is that you want to change the box name. In this case, maybe, yeah, let's look for maybe CentOS Vagrant box. To get that, you can just think let's go to the home, then let's find box. So I'll just look for CentOS 7. I'll pick this. You can do the same. So we just need this link. Alright, just put the link here. Alright, now this we want this DB. Maybe I want an Ubuntu virtual machine. For that I can just look for an Ubuntu. Go with Ubuntu 20 bucks. Alright, no, I like this guy. I like his stuff, so I'll just go with him. But this one is Ubuntu. So just put the box name here. I will assume that you have seen the Vagrantfile before. Vagrantfile is very long. Let's see, I should be able to see give you an example, maybe from the documentation. Let's see. Say we want to let's open this. Okay, now a typical Vagrantfile, we have VM is okay. I don't want to complicate the things here, guys, but you can have as many as possible VMs. In this case, we will be doing just two. You can have more, so just simply duplicate this and then give the box name for the VMs. So in this case, we have CentOS, this one VM, this one is Ubuntu, this another VM. You can have as many as possible. Also, you can configure each one. Maybe we only give the box name for this. We can give the RAM size, can give the network and the rest. So that's, let me just let me show you an example here. This is an example of a typical Vagrant file. A typical Vagrant file will look like this, and if you notice, most part of it will be comment out. So you can if you notice, this is the same. You can have you can configure the network, you can configure the public network, you can configure the RAM size, the memory size, you can configure the CPUs, and you can configure the provisioning as well. So that's what we'll be doing in the next section of this video. So welcome back. In this section, we are going to add more properties to each of these virtual machine that we have in our Vagrantfile. So let's say we want to give this we want it to take our, say we want to give it an IP address. So I have an example of a Vagrantfile here. If you just Vagrant init, if you run a single Vagrant machine, you are going to get this by default. So you can take that as an example. So I'm going to, this is the box name for this sample Vagrantfile, but I want to show you, you can get if you want to give it a private network IP address, then you can use this here. Then you are going to put it just here, and you have given it an IP address. In fact, it's a private one. And to give it a public IP as well, it's the same thing. Just use this. Then you are not going to include this IP section here. And in this case, you might be thinking, which IP will you now be using? To be using the IP of your physical machine. So this is called a breach IP. So it's going to breach your physical machine's IP to this Vagrant machine's IP. So this Vagrant machine will be using your physical machine's IP by default. So that works. It will to be a public IP. So, and this one will be private. At the same time, you can still use it to access your Vagrant machine since on your local network. So alright, that's one way. Another thing that is important that you might want to do is to configure the memory. And if you notice, this is a multi-line command, unlike this that's a single line command, but placed within the entire machine's command line. However, this is a multi-line command, so you have to copy it from here, then it ends here. So let's say I want to give this memory size. It will still be within this global, this local. Let's say global in the sense that it's global for this machine. So we are going to put it here. Alright, and then we can just remove every part you are not using anyway. Alright, so I think I'll just bring this backward, and then okay, take this inward. Alright, so this is the memory. Oh, this is too much. I don't want 2 gig. In fact, I just want 512. And you can set the memory as well. So you have mind you, it is important that you, if you notice, this is the name of this instruction. So everything here should start from web, and that is very important, guys. So everything should be web, and this will be vm.memory because it's an extension of this. So that's that. and everything that will be in here too will be db. For example, let's say I want to set another private IP for this, then this will be db, and this should be different, let's say 11. All right, so that's that. Something else that it's important, we have given the memory size for this. Let's give it the same memory size for the second machine as well. All right, alright, something that is so important that I would like to show you again is the provisioning section. By default on regular Vagrant file, I don't have that here. You won't get all of this. I use this for a different project, that's why you're seeing this here. Use this to install Docker, but on yours, as in on the default Vagrant file, you are not going to get this. But this section is important. Provision section. It is used to provision the virtual machine with some set of instructions while creating a virtual machine. So instead of you like creating the machine, then logging in and completing some commands just to set it up before you can use it, you can put all the setup commands here. So you just create the virtual machine and it's ready to go for whatever you want to use it, or for whatever service you want to be using on it. In fact, you can provision it with your maybe you want you need a website, you need a web service, a virtual machine that will be running your web service. You can provision it with all the website files on the go. So you just create. After creating, immediately it's just the machine will provision all the codes and the website to be up and running. You just need to get your IP address and start using it. And maybe in previous subscription videos we're talking about how to provision a virtual machine, probably provision a website, how they go. But you need to understand this. So let me just use an example. If you notice from this provision section, it says config VM provision shell. It says the commands that will be in here will be shell, and it will be inline, that is, will be one command at a line. Then everything in this shell and this shell will run while creating the virtual machine. So we can just let's copy this. It will be on its own. So this so depending on where you want to put it, if I should put it here, then it will be a global configuration for both VMs, but I don't want that. I just want to configure one of those. So let's configure this with the provisioning. Then we have the last line, which is this, just shell. You can as well just type that. Alright, so whatever instruction we put here will run. So I can just say let's just we can leave it as it is, but we can let's just put an echo command. Echo in quotes thank you for installing, thank you for running CentOS virtual machine. So this will run, just an example, this is shell command, so it's going to run probably after just after creating the virtual machine. I'm going to show you. So in the next video I'm going to run this, but let's just continue building this Vagrantfile. Something else that you should use if talk about this is the sync directory. And sync directory is like a folder that is synced from your VM onto your physical machine. Let's say for some reason you need to use some files on the virtual machine, and Vagrant provide an easy way for you to send files between this between the VM and your virtual machine. So the sync directory, if you notice, this commented out, however it shows data and your local directory. It's simple, so and then basically that's just it. The top here, you don't really need it, and then this is the box name, so that's the box name. All right, so in the next video we are going to run down our Vagrantfile. All right guys, let's run our Vagrantfile, our multi-VM Vagrantfile. I believe by now you should be able to create this on your own. Just save, and now we can go back into our directory. Now let's see. Now you have the Vagrantfile. So just to bring up the Vagrant machine, so simple. You can just Vagrant so simple. You can just do Vagrant up, and if I should do Vagrant up, it's going to provision these two Vagrant machines. You have DB, you have web. Similarly, let's say I just want to bring up one. Let's say I want to bring up one. I can just do Vagrant up DB, then it's going to bring up just the DB virtual machine. However, if I should do Vagrant up, it's going to bring up the both virtual machines. So now I'm going to show you. First, let me show you that I have. Let me show you what I have in my Vagrant box, so that you see this live. Alright, at the moment I have just one machine running, which is bash script, and now we are going to create two virtual machines more. So in a few moments you should see two. It should be the DB and the web. So Vagrant up. So this can take little time actually, depending on your internet speed. Can you see? It's reading the Vagrantfile, now bringing machine web and DB up. So it's importing the base box, which is for the CentOS, which is this, and later it's going to, after finishing CentOS, then it's going to work on the DB. And something you should put at the back of your mind also, and it's very important, is the size of your physical machine. Now we have 512, that is 1 gig. So if you don't have enough space, just run one. You can run them one after the other. For example, I have at the moment, you can see the CentOS is getting created, but at the moment I have this running, which is 1 gig, and it has 2 processors. So ideally, this physical machine that I'm using to create this tutorial now is having serving 8 gig 4 gig RAM. So it doesn't really make sense for me to have this running while I have 2 more, though that would be 2 gig, but just to slow up the system to some extent. So what I will do is I'm going to stop this. Sorry, this bash script. So I'll just shut it down. Now this is done, then all of these resources will not be in use. So the resources that will be in use is this, and you can see we specify 512 in our Vagrantfile for the CentOS. That's why I have it. So now let's go back to the shell, and you can see it's running. So I want to show you something important before, just when it's about to get into setting up DB. So this is the sync directory. Now this is what I'm saying. You can see the instruction that we give it. Thank you for running CentOS VM. This instruction that we provisioned, that's what you see there. Can you see that? Just before you get into the DB setup, and that's what you need to know. If we were to put even more instructions there, here, it's going to run it. It's going to execute the instruction. You can put so many instructions here, and it's going to execute this. So that's provision. So the Ubuntu setup is running. And as you can see, this is running. So let's see, can we just put this right up here? Fine. So this is the CentOS machine. Can you see CentOS? Give it 512 of memory, and then the second machine will be up here in any moment. It's downloading the box. Something else you should know is that Vagrant by default we need an hypervisor. I believe you should understand that, because that's some basics of Vagrant. This year MultiVM is a little advanced. So basic of Vagrant is that you are going to need an hypervisor, and in this case I'm using the Oracle VirtualBox hypervisor. Also, you must have set up enabled virtualization technology in the BIOS settings of your physical machine. And something else you need the Vagrant setup that you have that we have here. Is the image. You need I think if you go to the home page, you need to download the Vagrant file and install it. on your physical machine before you'll be able to do all of this. So now we're expecting the last VM to be up. I think it's still downloading. Can you see Ubuntu, just like what we gave in the instruction? Ubuntu. All right. So that is how it works, guys. It's so simple. Just know that you need to create your own Vagrant file. Unlike if you are using just a single if it were to be setting up just a single VM, you just need to use Vagrant in it, and it's going to create a similar file to this. It's going to create this file for you. You just need to provide this name, Vagrant in it, with this name, and it's going to generate this for you by default. I think this is taking a toll on my system. It's lagging. I think the video editor that I'm using as well is taking some RAM, so 4 GB RAM is not much. If you are doing this kind of work, you need probably around 12 upward. So 4 GB RAM will be lagging because I have a lot of doing video, making video, running running more than one computers basically, running more than one physical machine. And in the world of virtual machine, not containers, virtual machine, what you are simply doing is dividing or sharing the hardware resources. So, and basically RAM is a hardware resource, that's why the system is lagging. So you're sharing hardware resources. That's what the hypervisor does. Shares the hardware resource. So I think probably should have okay, this should be up any moment from now. The fourth or the second VM from our Vagrantfile. So hypervisor basically just share the physical resources of the host machine. Well, in the world of containers, we are going to instead of sharing the physical resources, we'll be sharing the operating systems resources. So you are basically in there you are sharing the operating system resources, but in a VM you are sharing the physical machines resources. So you should have this any moment. So All right. So, for some reasons, which I think is my internet speed, I think Ubuntu machine do comes up or download faster. I think maybe the file size is not that much compared to CentOS. So CentOS is RPM based, so I think it's more secure compared to Ubuntu, and I think it contains more files. So this is easier and simpler compared to CentOS. But can you see the machine is coming up? So now very soon it will be running, and then we'll be able to sign in. And now you can see it's finished downloading. It's just putting it. Said it's faster compared to web, compared to CentOS. So now if we then look into this, it's 512 as well. So can you see the details? So from now you should be able to sign into this. Oh, this is done, guys. We have the two VMs running now. So now let's sign into them and then start working on them. All right. Guys, so just like I said at the beginning of when I was installing this, the way you work with a multi-VM file, Vagrantfile, is different from the way you work with just a Vagrantfile that has just a single VM. So in this case, that we have two VMs. We have the DB and the web VM. So now if you want to bring up the VMs, you can use them. The two you can Vagrant up, which we did earlier. So if you want to sign into these VMs now, you need to give each individual name. But if you are assuming you just have just a single VM from this Vagrantfile, so Vagrant SSH will sign us in just Vagrant SSH. But in this case that we have more than one, you need to specify the one we want to sign on to. So in this case it is web, or it can be DB, depending on your choice. So that's one thing I should keep at the back of your mind. Likewise, if you want to shut down these two VMs, the two are running, if I should just do Vagrant alt, and this is very important. This will shut both VMs down. However, if you want to shut just one VM down, then it needs to be Vagrant alt, then you give the name. It's as simple as that. So make sure that you put it at the back of your mind when you are running more than one Vagrant virtual machine. So now I'll just sign into web. So web. Web is a CentOS machine, so we are in. It's as simple as that. So I'm just going to switch to the root user. All right, you can just who am I? You are root. All right, that's one of the basic things. So let me just log out now and then sign into the second machine. So alright, so now Vagrant DB, let's sign into this. We are in on the Ubuntu, this Ubuntu, can you see? So let's switch to the root user as well. Guys, I want to make some modification to the Vagrant file so that you see quite one or two things more. So and then after that I'm going to, in fact I can just get rid of these VMs from here. So now let's see what we have in the Vagrant file at the moment. You can see this where we have 512 and then this CentOS. We have this Ubuntu 512 as well, and we have this IP address. Let's say I want to modify, or let's say I want to add more settings to this. I can just use the VIM editor to edit the file right from the terminal. So and then something else that you might want to do is to look for an existing Vagrant file, or just go to the Vagrant documentation website. Now let's add something, probably let's play around with the, let's see the provisioning. Or let's change the box. Let's change the box. So just search for Vagrant box. In this case I want to maybe use another box for the two VMs so that you just understand how this works. So let's see this. Use Debian and Ubuntu 16. Alright. So first one I want to, let's make it this Ubuntu. This version was created. Alright. I think this should be fine. So make the first one Ubuntu 16, just paste the box name here. I think, let me, sorry, oh, so there's a mistake, guys. I need to quit this file, open it again. This is VIM editor, and then before you can edit in VIM, just you need to press the I to insert. So from there you can start modifying whatever you want. So I think alright. Yeah, but that's not what we want. What we actually want is to put this. Yep. And for this one, I want to use, let's see what we have. This is Debian. No, let me get another one. Ubuntu 12. So it's a very old Ubuntu. Let's see it. Let's try it out. This version was created 8 years ago. Let's just play around with it. Actually, you should always use recent and once, but since this is just a tutorial, and if you are not familiar with VIM editor, so I would advise you to use a text editor to do this. So VIM can be tricky. Alright, now let's see the changes. Okay, we have Ubuntu 16 and we have this old Ubuntu. Fine. Alright, now let's bring up the VMs. Alright, first one is up. machine is ready. Alright, now it's going to provision the second machine after this. But there's something we need to fix. It's not picking the recent machines that we provided. I think we'll have to fix that. I think we'll have to fix that after this. Okay, this is the provisioning section that we added, which is this, and this hello here, if you notice, it should be the first thing. It's an example. You are going to see it here, hello, as in towards the end. Sorry, that's the general provisioning from the global section of the Vagrant file. So both VMs are up and running. Now let's sign into the second one. So the second one is DB. So that's why we are using Vagrant SSH DB. This is the name. Oh, we are in. Fine. Let's do some quick modifications so as to identify them. We're just getting Vagrant, but let's change the host name. So I'll switch to root user, and then let's go into the or let's modify the file just where, and then I think it's in etc hostname. Yeah, this is it. This is the hostname. We can just delete it and then call it, let's say, db machine. So insert db machine, then we can save the file. Let's say hostname machine. Alright, now let's log out and log in again. Alright, now let's log in and see. So as you can see, this name has changed to db machine. Fine. Now let's change the host name of the web machine as well. All right. Now change to the switch to the root user. Now modify the hostname directory. Now start. Let's delete everything. I can just call it web machine. Save. Now just call it host name web machine. Now let's log out. Now let's log in once more. You can see we have changed the host name of these two machines, so now we can easily identify where we are. You can see this one is db machine, this one is web machine. So that's just some of the important things you need to know when you're setting up multi-VM Vagrant machines. So it's just so simple, guys, and I believe you'll be able to learn how to set up a multi-VM Vagrant and how to rename them, how to give them IP address, and how to include provisioning in them, something like this. So those are important things you need to have at the back of your mind. So put the name to include the network, and they can communicate with each other as well. That's another thing you need to know. Let's say we can ping. What's the IP? Let's get the IP of this DB, so we can ping either one. Let's say I want to communicate with this. In fact, I'll use let me use MTR, which is similar to this. My trace route is going to trace if there's a connection between this IP Oh, never mind, let's use ping. Alright, can you see it's pinging? So there's a connection between the two virtual and Vagrant machines, and that's so simple, guys. And with that, we have come to the end of this video, guys. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.